Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. I'm Susie, and this podcast helps you navigate your journey through the crossroads by taking a deeper look into witchcraft and spirituality. So settle in, grab your beverage of choice, and let's get this episode going. Hello, gorgeous soul. I feel like every time I come on to record, I want to hold your hand and give you a big hug and just ask how you're doing. Um, it just has been, right? January always feels like it's 3 million days long and everything's just piling up. It's after the holidays. It's getting back into, I don't know, back into work mode. Um, we're still in the dead of winter and everyone wants us to be so productive and go, go, go. What's your New Year's resolution? When the world is on fire? Well, America, I guess. It's just it's it can be overwhelming. And I want you to know that I love you and we're going to get through this. Okay, we are. I do not want to say it's going to be a long 4 years. I want to say it's going to go by quickly and we're going to stay grounded and we're going to stay focused and we're going to stay supporting each other and we're going to be loud when we need to be and we're not going to cower down. A lot of things are coming up, right? And this is when I was discussing about the card for the year. The card for the year is the Hermit card for 2025. And it really is about that inner focus. Okay, so don't lose that inner light. That light is within you. And I just wanted to open with that. There's just so much happening. It's so much happening in like a short span of time. So take a deep breath in, relax the shoulders and let it out. Get the wiggles out. It's just, we're going to be okay. We really are. Sometimes our journeys have speed bumps and detours, and that's just part of the journey. If you haven't yet, you still have time to book a year ahead reading with me. I had the absolute honor of doing some year ahead readings, and I just want to say that the feedback has been so phenomenal, so sweet. And the last one that I received was, this person was already feeling very heightened, very emotional, especially with the unknown and the energy and the vibe and what's happening, and not just around them, but within them. And getting that year ahead reading can put things into perspective, can get you to focus. Because sometimes, if you're anything like me, your brain can feel like it's the laptop with, or your phone with a bunch of tabs open, right? And it's everywhere. So the year ahead reading will come together, we ground, and then we see the energy for the upcoming months. We read the energy of the year for you. This is tailored specifically to you. So all the links are in the show notes. Don't be shy. Let me know what you think. Shoot me an email, shoot me a DM. If you have ideas for topics, you have questions that I could bring up here on an episode, I would love to do that. This episode, it's kind of a fun one. Oh, I think they're all fun episodes, if I do say so myself. But this one, and I don't even know how it came about. Maybe I was going to do some more research on sigils and symbolism. And then I came across again because I had already seen it and I was like, I'm going to do research on it. And then obviously I forgot because I didn't write it down. And now I have for you today, we're talking about the Oreo cookie. Yes, that Oreo cookie. And the reason being is that with the Oreo cookie, if you happen to look at it, if you have Oreos at home, which I actually have some in my pantry, or you want to Google the a picture of an Oreo, you're going to notice that there's some kind of designs on them, right? And to be honest, never once occurred to me, like, I wonder what these designs mean. But there's always some kind of reason, right? When we look at things, when people are marketing to us, they think about the font style, the size, the colors, how it's gonna like connect with you so that you can purchase or whatever. And so I just figured, oh, this is a cool design on a cookie. Very, very different. But then I was, and of course, who knows how it happened, but then I was going down some type of rabbit hole, and then I come up a slew, a ton of articles. And that's what I want to talk to you about the dark truth behind the design on the Oreo cookies. Now, of course, this is all conspiracy. There's going to even be some debate that that's not what it's about. We can think of it as a dark mystery, right? Do these symbols communicate a hidden message? Is it just coincidence? Is it just because back in the day, the cookies and things were all just in a big old bin, but then it was decided that these things should be covered, for safety and consumption in a nice, beautiful seal, and that the brand is just how it hit the cookie? Who knows? But I'm going to dive deep into both of these because I thought it was pretty interesting. All right. I love me an Oreo cookie. I love Oreo cookies. They have always been my go-to. The regular Oreo, not the double stuffed, not the golden Oreo. Not that they're not good, okay? But I just love the OG Oreo cookie. So as I dive into the dark truth behind the design on these Oreo cookies, I just wanted to let it be known that I enjoy dunking an Oreo cookie in some milk. These cookies are the top selling cookies in the 20th century, okay? Billions, okay? When I'm talking billions of people have ever noticed the little symbols on the outside of the cookie. Now, like I'm telling you, yeah, I see the design. I didn't think anything of it, but I love people when they see things, they're like, why is it like that? So I'm gonna kind of dive in now into the Oreo cookie designs. All right, so you see the Oreo cookie. Let's say if it's safe for you to pull it up, you can pull it up. Or maybe you want to go ahead and grab a cookie. It's obviously an assignment right now. Go ahead, go grab your Oreo cookie. When you look at the Oreo cookie, you will notice it says Oreo in the middle. There's a circle, and then there's like um almost like a cross, right? It's one line down vertical and then two lines going horizontal. It almost looks like one of those antennas for the TV, but this cross could be argued that it is the cross of Lorraine. So it's a circle with the two-bar cross. That is the logo that really sticks out, right? Where you see Oreo because it's right in the middle, and there it is. So this symbol is the cross of Lorraine, which was carried by the Knights of Templar during the First Crusade in the 11th century. These knights, along with other Christian pilgrims, went to the capital of Israel, um, recaptured the Turks, and mercilessly just unalive them. It's a terrible genocide. And that is why this is like the dark side, right? The dark symbols on the Oreo cookie. Again, all all coincidence. Now we see that, and around the Oreo, we see like I don't know, like flowers. To me, they look like flowers. It's you can argue that they're little triangles, okay? And these four little triangles are put together and they look like a little flower. And where I'm looking online, it actually looks like maybe a four-leaf clover. But again, it's a symbol that connects Oreos with the history of the First Crusades. So this cross, this different cross, is a symbol of the Knights Templar that was adopted by sewing a red or black crosses on their white robes and other pieces of clothing to distinguish themselves from other soldiers in other religions. And even though people don't recognize these emblems, most consumers, like myself, would see it as like, oh, it looks like a little four-leaf clover. And what do four-leaf clovers stand for? Hope, faith, love, good luck, right? And some people will argue that it's not the cross from the First Crusade. It's really a four-leaf clover, and that's why Oreo has such good luck selling its product. I don't know, you tell me. Now we look at the cookie's shape. And this is where I was like, okay, I mean, cookies are normally round, but people that are really looking into the symbolism in these things, you can really see the circle as having a lot of mystical meanings. Okay. Um, like the wheel of the year, right? The wheel is always turning, the circle of life. And just like maybe, just like the circle, right? Where there's like an ending, beginning, and it's just that cycle. People say that with this symbol, with all these symbols plus the circle, it emphasizes about change. And those eating the Oreo, when you look at all these symbols and notice that it's just perfectly round, it is a friendly reminder that power of changing your life is all in your hands. What do you think about that? I, I, you know what? I can get on board with that if I'm gonna like look at an Oreo and be reminded that, you know what? I hold the change all in my hands. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy it. Now, the origin of the name remains a mystery. Some believe that the cookie's name came from the French word gold because that was the color of the original Oreo package. That I did not know. While others claim that the name is actually a combination of taking "re" from cream and placing it between the two O's in chocolate, making it Oreo. I had to sit with that for a minute. And I was like, either one, brilliant. I thought it was very catchy. I wish we knew the origin of the name because either way, super cool. I really did enjoy all of that little tidbit. And even though we're looking at the cross, is it a cross? Is it not? Is it a four-leaf clover or not? Is there really symbolism with the Oreo being circular? Because to me, I'm like, well, cookies are round, right? Unless it's a festive cookie like, I don't know, a Christmas tree or something or a heart. But usually cookies are round. But you know what? Like I said, if I'm dunking my Oreo cookie in some milk and I can think of the circle now as I hold change within my hands, I don't know. I find that kind of adorable. It's just an interesting theory to take that just links the symbology of the Oreo to the medieval Knights of Templar. And I also read the Fraternal Order of the Freemasonry. Two organizations that just are in a grandiose scale, just have just a slew of conspiracy theories, right? The Cross of Lorraine, the flowers, the dots, the it just everything just looks like it was just so strategically placed on that cookie. Now, as you look at the cookie, and I'm actually going to look at it right now. It was said also that the symbols, the way that they line up, the arranging of the dots around the cookie were strategically placed to form a five-pointed star, the symbol of the Order of the Eastern Star. All of these symbols are still used throughout the Masonic bodies, including the Eastern Star, Knights of Templar, and the Scottish Rite. Is it coincidence? Maybe. Maybe we're looking too hard into it, but it's something to ponder. The inventor, who is responsible for the Oreo's look today, was also Freemason. So there's just so much to unpack here on a little cookie, right? And you're probably thinking, so what? So what if the Oreo's designer was a Freemason, Susie? Yeah. What if there are some esoteric symbols on the cookie? And what if the symbols are just coincidental? What do we make of all of these symbols on this cookie? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer here because it's all up to theory, right? But you see similar symbolisms everywhere. You see it in classical art, you see it in your texts, logos, these symbols. If we're really looking into like the conspiracy theory of it all, it's it's really like passing down like the secrets, right? Um, and some say that it's supposed like it's they're passing their secrets or passing the messages along. Um, Maybe it's a means uh to have covert conversations, or it's just a mind control tool that we are not aware of, luring us masses right into the occult. Hey, maybe, maybe that's where I am. It is my favorite cookie after all. It's just so interesting how we see all of these patterns and shapes and symbols and what they can really mean or not mean. And what do they mean to us? Even if it's nothing more than just a decorative pattern. Back then, like I was saying, you just had all these batches in an open barrel, not covered, nothing, just everything. And when we think of like the molding and the stamping on these cookies, the imagery, we're also looking at how these designs, whether they were on purpose or not, for the aesthetics of it all, or just it just happened. When you start mass producing these cookies, or these biscuits, they saw how important it was to actually put these in a seal. And of course, it's like, oh, it's just sealed for better taste, but also for, I mean, we don't want a whole bunch of stuff in our cookies. You know what I mean? It's really looking at the the embossing machine is what I read. When you're first decorating the cookies and actually packaging them so that way they stay intact. And it's just so beautiful how all of these things come together. And then we start to deep dive into the design. And the design has changed over years. And this is what I liked. I liked the different embossing patterns on the face of the Oreo. And a lot can be said when you look into your favorite things and your packaging, how things they change, right? Year after year, you rebrand, you relook at the packaging, and if you're looking at it from uh how you're going to make money, how you're going to save money, a lot of that goes into all of that. So, a lot of the designs have evolved over time, much like everything else. And looking at the design, so here, I just pulled up the design. When the Oreo was first introduced by Nabisco, it was a much more, it looks like a little wreath. It's very pretty. You see Oreo in the middle, and it has more of the designs on the outer part, closer to the edges, than what we see today with all those other intricate little designs. And I'm just like, wow, that looks actually very beautiful. And seeing how the pattern and the elements have changed over time. So we can look into was it the Masons? Were they really putting those symbolisms out there? Were they really trying to communicate secretively or not? Right? But now we're looking at the updates and how we're looking at these patterns. And I guess that you can argue that they're more floral, but coming into that shape of the version, like, oh, is that really the Knights Templar cross? Why does it look like a little antenna over the name Oreo? Why has it like changed so much? But as we're overlooking all of these logos, right? All of this symbolism for this product, the company itself, even the packaging and how it's advertised, it's interesting to just look at these marks because I mean, to me now, I'm like, well, why don't we just put Nabisco on there along with um, the name Oreo? The world may never know. Although we do know it is the world's top selling cookie. I know it's delicious. It's so I can even see now the commercial of how, you would twist the outer cookies away from each other to like get to the center and then dunk it. Is this cookie just a cookie? Is there more than what we know? Is there hidden meanings stamped onto these Oreo cookies? An enigma between two chocolate wafers and delicious cream filling. A lot of people would argue, no, it's just a cookie. Others would argue, there's deeper symbolism there. I'll leave that up to you. I love coming into this type of articles and things that just kind of like make you go, I don't know. Let's dive deep into this. It's a good conversation starter. It is kind of dark, that history. Why you would put those things on a cookie? Mm. If it's truly what people conspiracize, right? But when we look at symbolism and sigils, like in your craft, there is where we start getting into the nitty gritty, right? So I had taught a class on how to create sigils. And sigils are really just your very personal symbol that you create that means something. So could these symbolism, all this symbolic things on the Oreo, could it mean something or not? We don't really know. But it's just like when you create your own personal sigil for protection, for good luck, for abundance, um, to bring in good fortune. That is how you phrase it and how you create your sigil is going to be just unique to you, unless you're putting it out there, unless you're selling it, unless you're showing. But I don't know. I'm always happiest when I see an Oreo and I'm about to dunk that goodness into some milk. Maybe there's some magic locked away in between the cream, that cream filling, right? In between those two chocolate wafers. Who knows? That's why I love coming into these things. And even though, are we really looking into something that's more of a conspiracy theory? Of course, it's fun, right? It's fun to like take a deep dive, really look at these things. But even with all of that, as we come into our craft, I like to think like, you know what? Maybe. Maybe those symbols mean something. Maybe it wasn't just an evolvement of the brand or, the embossing of it. Especially when you're selling something, it's intentional. So who knows what these intentions are? Just like the mystery of the name Oreo. I find them both very fascinating. But I want you to take this into your craft, how you can make something uniquely your own. And you can make it very secretive, right? Nobody's got to know. And I've even posted some videos and reels on my socials how you can create your own sigil. And let's say you're looking for to bring in a sense of calm or maybe more energy, how you can take that sigil and write it underneath like your coffee cup, wherever it is that you grab your favorite coffee. You draw that sigil on there. It's like you're imbuing that energy into, let's say, your coffee cup. Even when you're making your coffee or tea, that sigil that you're creating, maybe you stir it into your beverage. Symbolism is everywhere, and you're going to feel some type of way whenever you see it. It's just how we are wired, especially now since we're so connected with each other. Commercials, ads, we can't go anywhere without some kind of ad in our face. I mean, look at McDonald's, the Golden Arches, you got Dunkin', and I'm trying to think of other, obviously the Oreo cookie, and all of these have like all these symbols, and we see, oh, Golden Arches, that's McDonald's right off the bat. Boom. You just know it. You may hate it, you may love it, you may be indifferent, but you know it. And it makes you feel a certain type of way, right? Because it's in your face. You could think, oh, I love McDonald's. It's so tasty. You have fresh fries. The Sprite is um so crispy. I don't know. And then you can think of like Dunkin' Donuts. I would always think about the little munchkins and the commercials. Even if you don't even eat at those places, you know about them. You know the symbols. Same thing with cars, right? So I just thought it was something to really look into, to dive deep, because no matter what, you're going to feel some type of way with these symbols. You know what? Obviously, hello. You see the symbol of like a Christmas tree or of Santa Claus, right? It's just an owl. And even if you were just to see what am I trying to say? The silhouette of it, you're like, ooh, Christmas. That's going to incite some kind of emotion, right? We're coming into February. What do you think of like seeing little hearts everywhere? They're everywhere. Is it love, heartache? What kind of love? Self-love, loving on your family, your kids, your pets, your significant other. It's really interesting to really dive deep on the symbolism of it all. So, as I dive deep into this Oreo cookie and uh, is it conspiracy? Maybe. Maybe there is something deeper. I would love to hear your side. What do you think? Let me know. I think I'm about to go have myself an Oreo. All right, gorgeous soul. Don't forget to book your personal reading with me. Also, I send weekly newsletters to all of my newsletter coven members. It's totally free. I think it's awesome. You get a card pull for the week, kind of get the energy for the week and what's going on. I know there is a new moon coming out. Don't have that at the top of my head, but I put all that stuff in the newsletter. Also, my newsletter coven, they get first dibs on programs I'm going to launch, discounts. So, yeah, don't miss out. All the links are down below. If this kind of sparked an idea that you would love to hear on the podcast or a question, I've got a form in the show notes also. Just click on it, or you can even DM me on my socials. TikTok is still around, but I'm also on Instagram and Threads. I haven't released like let go of those just yet because I like to stay connected and not everyone likes to send an email. Speaking of emails, if you do sign up for my newsletter, know that they're going out weekly. They usually get sent out depending on what's going on in the stars, Sunday evening or Monday mornings. If you don't see it and you know you're signed up, check your promotions and spam. It's a hit or miss. I can't even tell you if I can understand that. But go ahead and look there. I don't want you to miss out on any of the cool things that I have coming up. And I do have some amazing programs and classes that I'm about to launch. So I don't want you to miss out on that. All right, gorgeous souls. Until next time, I will see you at the crossroads.